meeting at 5:31. For the roll call, councilors present are Melendez and Heede. Calendars and communications, I have nothing. Councilor Heede, do you have anything?
Nothing to report, sir.
Thank you. On to the approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, I'll second. We have the minutes came through email. They weren't in this packet, but they were sent through the email. So,
Right.
So if there's no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. That vote carries unanimously 2-0-0. Okay, on to new business. Okay, so welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. We can start with appointing Max Leonard to the Historic District Commission. And here it says full member or alternate. Does the
well, let me interject for a second. Maybe Betsy can tell us if both of these are alternates or permanent members. But Bonnie Nault was previously on the commission, so if we're going to make one of them permanent,
yeah. And you had an email from the chair with a request to make Bonnie Nault a full member and Max an alternate member because of her tenure.
Okay, thank you.
She had applied before he did too, so lots of good things.
Okay, so it all works out. Okay, so do I hear a motion to appoint Max Leonard as an alternate to the Historic District Commission?
So moved.
All right, I'll second. Thank you, Max Leonard, for volunteering for this position. Basically, we just ask a couple questions and then we vote. It's nothing too intensive. So, Councilor Heede, if you have any questions, you can start now.
Sure. So I'll start with the first request. It's thank you very much for stepping up to volunteer. A lot of the town business is done by volunteers like you, and we all really appreciate that. What is important though is to remember to try and make the meetings or have communication with the chair if you're not able to, because quite often I don't think it's a problem with the Historic District Commission, but quite often some of these commissions do have attendance issues and work doesn't get done as a result. So that's the first thing. Second thing, just a general question, what do you know about the Historic District Commission and what do you bring to the table that you think might be helpful to them?
If you're talking, you're muted.
If Max is talking, he's muted. Right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to unmute him. Chairman, you are a co-host, so you can unmute also. But there you go. Well, Max, unmute, Max.
I'm able to unmute myself.
Yeah, Max looks like he's frozen. Maybe he needs to reboot himself. All I see is a frozen picture. I don't think he's there. You know what I mean?
So should I make a motion to?
No, he's gonna be coming back on in a second here.
Okay. So I guess we could just skip ahead. So I'll remove my motion. Councilor Heede, will you remove your second?
I will withdraw.
Oh,
it was my motion, your second. But
Oh yeah, true.
I'm getting confused.
Mom, you're not here. My mom is here, by the way. I'm in the car.
Okay, I'm sorry, Chairman, you've got Max back. Sorry about that.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so resubmit motion in second.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay,
And
Max, can you talk?
Crashed here. I'm joining from my browser now. Hopefully that won't happen again.
Okay, great. We can hear you now.
Excellent.
So
Although I
Councilor
lost my
Heede-
my bridge background. I had the Mystic drawbridge all set up as my background.
Beautiful.
All
Now,
right,
and I'm
Councilor
sorry, I could hear you, but it was saying that it wasn't responding. Could you repeat your first question?
Sure. Yes. What is it that you think you're like? What are you bringing to the commission? And I guess what would you like to like? How do you understand how the commission works? Like, what does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah. So as I understand it, the commission, you guys have been around since 1974, I believe, and essentially what you're trying to do is preserve the historical roots of this town, mainly in an architectural sense. And I definitely share that interest in preservation. I grew up actually in the Leonard W. Morse house that was erected in 1855. And I lived there for some time. And actually, my father actually grew up in that house too. So we have a lot of history in that house. And I have definitely an appreciation for the historic roots and architecture of the area. Personally, what I bring to the table, I don't have, I'm not a builder, I'm not a historian, but I definitely, like I had said, I have an interest in preserving historic mystic charm, I guess. Obviously, history is important, but I think, I don't want this town to become just any other town. I think it's important to maintain and preserve the historic look and feel. I've owned property in other historic districts before. For example, the Stonington Borough, and as an owner, I've gone through the town and had experience in that sense. But I've never obviously been on historic board myself. I am pretty technologically inclined. I may be, I know my system did just crash, but don't let that fool you. Currently, I work for a defense contractor, and I'm kind of a jack of all trades there. But I do have experience with I'm not sure what we might come across, but with websites and whatnot, web development and developing different tools. I've also done some site research and work to develop some new sites for our company, in which we would have to deal with different ordinances, and that's throughout the country. So I'm kind of a mixed bag as far as my background goes, and I think there is definitely some things that you'll want to lean on as far as my background goes. And if you have any more questions, hopefully I can elaborate further.
Okay, perfect. No, I like what I hear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I don't have any further questions. So if that's all for discussion, I'll call for a vote on appointing Max Leonard as an alternate to the Historic District Commission. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, that motion carries unanimously 2-0-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you bet. You're welcome. Betsy, do you want to describe how the next steps are? Like, this would go to town council for approval, and then
Right.
you'll be calling them in.
Exactly. So this is a suggestion, this is a recommendation from this body to the town council for appointments. And the next meeting is, wait, off the top of my head, I have to look at the calendar, but it's in February. It would be February 2nd would be the next council meeting. And at that point, if you're appointed, then a letter from my office will be sent to you, and we email and send in snail mail. And you'll have to come into our office or do it virtually to be sworn in. And that's how it works.
Excellent. I look forward to it.
And thank you for your time and your volunteer.
All right.
Thank you.
And that process should be the same for everybody here today. Okay, so moving on. Do I hear a motion?
Would you like me to sign off now?
Yeah, you're fine to go. Thank you.
You can sign off.
Okay, thank you
can say
again.
It's up to you. Congratulations.
Okay, maybe I'll hang out. Thank you. Thank you.
Do I hear a motion to appoint as a full member Bonnie Nault to the Historic District Commission?
So moved.
Okay, I'll second. Welcome. Same. You know that we said to Max. Thank you for volunteering. Do you what? So you've been on the Historic District Commission before,
Yes, I have.
as I understand.
Yes, I have. I had to resign because I got elected to town council.
I see. So what do you, as someone who has experience, what do you think you bring, as opposed to someone who, doesn't have any experience so far? What extra, knowledge do you think that gives you?
Well, I know most of the members of the board. I know how it works. I get along well with them. I know the process, and my background is I'm an architect, so I'm quite familiar with historic buildings. I live in the historic district on Pearl Street in downtown Mystic, and I've owned it for over 30 years. And so I live and know the regulations because I have to abide by them, as do my neighbors. I'm also a realtor, so I not only work with the historic district that I live in, but I work with the historic district in Stonington and Groton City and all around the state. So I'm fairly familiar with preservation. I've been a member of the National Historic Preservation Society, as well as the Connecticut Preservation for years and years. And I believe in saving old buildings. My house is an 1851 Greek revival, but I also think that we have to comply with upgrading energy features and allowing people to do things that make sense while maintaining the historic character. So I think having been on the commission, it's like at step one, I know what I'm doing.
All right, that sounds great. That's all I have. Councilor Heede, do you have any questions?
Actually, Bonnie, I'm really excited by your interest in being back on this commission, and your answer
Thanks,
was amazing.
Conrad. I see you're a sea turtle tonight.
Yeah, you won't see me if I turn the camera on because the lights are off in the car. But yeah, I think you sound like a really great person to have on there. Being an architect, having an interest, having the experience, but also recognizing you have to balance the regulation with the realities of you have to do energy conservation. You've got to change windows and all that. So
we were allowing solar panels in the historic when I got off. So progress doesn't stop. So.
Right. Yeah. No. There have been. I've heard a lot of critiques from people on how historic districts tend to work, and ours seems to be going really well.
When I first moved here, it was not what it was. Pretty disastrous. It was not. I didn't have anything really major to do to my house, but some of my neighbors did. And the composition of the board at that time was not helpful.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the nice way to put it. So you can have historic district commissions where it's personal preferences, or you can have historic districts where it's a group of developers come in and they run the show. So having a nice balance and still being it sounds like you know what you're going to do though. So
they've been bugging me since I got off of town council, but I've waited a little while. I like the commission. It's very interesting. I think I will have something to add. It's just I am busy and with this COVID, but now with these meetings like this, it's pretty awesome. So, or you can
it really is.
get a lot of business done for the town without having to traipse all over town in the middle of the week.
Exactly. I'm gonna hate going back. All right, no further questions from me, Chair.
Okay, great. Seeing no further discussion, I'll call for a vote on appointing Bonnie Nault to the Historic District Commission as a full member. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. That vote carries unanimously 2-0-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Very much. Congratulations.
Thanks, Conrad. Talk to you guys soon.
Okay. Now moving on to, do I hear a motion to appoint Dan Gajewski to the Fair Rent Commission?
So moved.
All right, I'll second. Welcome, Dan. Thank you for volunteering, as I, have expressed to the other people here today. It's sometimes very hard to find people to volunteer for these positions, but thank you for volunteering.
You're quite welcome, Councilor Melendez.
Okay, Councilor Heede, if you have any questions, you have the floor.
Yes. Well, first question is the photo on your application doesn't look anything like you now, so just want to, I guess, point that out. Make sure we're talking to the right person here.
Yeah, that photo is a year old, I believe, and I have facial hair now. I guess I didn't realize that when I sent it in. Thanks for pointing that out to me, Councilor Heede.
Yeah,
I will have to update the photo, I guess, or shave.
So, what is your understanding of the Fair Rent Commission?
So my understanding of the Fair Rent Commission is the commission controls and eliminates excessive rental charging for housing accommodations within the town. And I view as housing accommodations as low income or affordable housing that has been recognized by either the state of Connecticut or the town.
All right. And do you have any particular interest in monitoring fair rent?
Yeah, I've actually studied housing policy in the United States and how sometimes individuals being displaced because of housing can have a negative impact on their economic well-being. And I would like to help contribute to not have that happen in my own town of Groton.
All right, great. Sorry, are you a renter or a landlord or anything like that?
No, I would be a citizen member of the commission.
Okay, perfect.
Pardon me for just a second, Chairman.
Yes.
And I don't know if your committee knows or if your interviewee knows, any of the housing that is subsidized by the government is not included in this commission's foray. In other words, so if it's a HUD housing like Branford Manor, Colonial Manor, any of those, they're excluded from this ordinance.
That I didn't know. I thought he was leaving out all the private residences, but yeah, interesting.
You know, it's strictly for private. It's not for government housings.
Actually, I have a question for you, Betsy. Is this commission, because there was talk of before when I first got on the council, about this body not having met in a while, and I forget who told us, but we had information that this is established by state statute, or is this was this established through the town?
So all boards and commissions are allowed under the statutes of the state of Connecticut to be shared. So a municipality may adopt an ordinance that is in line with the state statute. So, but all boards and commissions are formed that way unless they're home rule boards and commissions, which we also have, that we're allowed to. But this particular commission was established during a political campaign, I hate to tell you, but that's where it was born. And there was a need, there is a need. But it's been difficult to get members to serve. So it was thought, well, should we even have it if we don't have anybody interested? And then we had a young woman last year who showed interest, and well, lo and behold, we've got another person interested. So now you actually, if you appoint someone, you know, the chairman is more than willing to serve, you know, so you have an active committee again. So does that answer your question or no?
Yeah, it did. It did. Well,
you're not forced to do anything by the state. You don't have to have this. The only commission that I know we have to have by state statute is the Ethics Commission.
Okay, I see. Yeah, it was my understanding before that this was a state mandate that we had to have something like this in the town, but that's not the case.
Not to my knowledge. It doesn't read that way in the ordinance. So.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Gajowski, I don't have any questions further for you. So if there's no other discussion, I'll call for a vote on appointing Daniel Gajowski to the Fair Rent Commission. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. That vote carries unanimously 2-0 to 0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations.
Okay, so moving on, the rest, that was our final new appointment. The rest are reappointments. So typically we just take these all together as there's no interview. So I will make a motion to reappoint W. Patrick White to the Ethics Commission, Sally Booth to the Ethics Commission, Gary Burfoot to the Ethics Commission, Susan Godley to the Ethics Commission, Rachel Smith to the Ethics Commission, Hallie Keeler to the Library Board, Matthew Schulman to the Library Board, Carl Strand to the Library Board, Richard Fitzgerald to the Zoning Board of Appeals, Timothy Pratt to the Jabez Smith House Committee, and Andrew German to the Jabez Smith House Committee. Do I hear a second?
Absolutely. I'll second that.
All right, any discussion?
No, but I guess thank you to all of them for wanting to continue serving.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, seeing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. That carries unanimously 2-0 to 0. All right, so on to review of agenda items. I have nothing.
I have nothing either, but when you write up the minutes, just remember that my mom is present as well in the audience. So for attendees, guess she's a general citizen or something, but first name is spelled Jayne, and the last name is the same as mine.
All right. I'll make sure to do that. Other
Perfect,
business? I have nothing.
No
All
other
right.
business.
And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, that carries unanimously 2-0-0, and we are adjourned at 5:56.